Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman is a new film that explores the true origins of Wonder Woman and the relationship between the three people that are at the heart of her creation. And the story basically explores the relationships between these three people and how that ultimately led to the creation of the superhero we now know as Wonder Woman. And going to this film, I was really looking forward to seeing it because when I initially heard of it, I thought it was some documentary about the origin of Wonder Woman. Then I heard more about it and I realised Luke Evans was in the movie, Rebecca Hall was in the movie, and I thought, I've got to see this, it sounds really great. And then I missed it at a London Film Festival, but it just came out and I saw it here at the Bath Film Festival, or now called Film Bath, and yeah, I thought this movie was really great. Probably even better than I thought it was going to be. Because I was looking forward to it, I was hoping I would enjoy it, but it was actually a really great film. And coming out, there wasn't anything I really disliked about it. I thought it was really fantastic. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a film for everyone, but for me personally, I really enjoy kind of true story films, and it was really great and really kind of enlightening and inspiring, learning the true story origins of the creation of Wonder Woman. I knew about certain things. I knew about Professor Marston, inventing the lie detector, and then him having relationships with these two other women that helped him come up with the idea of Wonder Woman. I knew the vague story, I knew the basics, but I didn't really know the details surrounding that true story. And it was really great to watch this film and learn about what really happened, who these people really were, and the relationships that they had with one another, and how that ultimately led to the creation of Wonder Woman. And it was really great. It was a really fantastic, really kind of enlightening and inspiring true story, discovering what really happened and how that actually led to the creation of Wonder Woman. I thought it was really fantastic, and the performances were a highlight, of course. Luke Evans, I'm a really big fan of. For me, he can do no wrong. Obviously he's been in a lot of lackluster films that haven't been that great, but even in the bad movies he's been in, he's been really great. And he was really good in this movie as well as Professor Marston, this guy between these two women, and he's this kind of psychology kind of professor, and he gets involved with these two of women, one being his wife and one being one of his students there, who becomes interested in him, takes an interest in him and his classes. And I think he played it really well. I think it was really well done. Rebecca Hall was also great in the movie. I'm a big fan of her. It's actually very weird when I was watching the movie how, the two leads, Rebecca Hall and Luke Evans, they're playing Americans, but they're both British. Two kind of really well respected, great kind of British actors playing these two kind of American characters in an American film, which I thought was interesting. And also Bella Heathcote, I haven't seen her in much. I think apparently she's in the 50 Shades of Grey films, I think. But she was really great in this movie, and I really enjoyed her. I think she's got a bright future ahead of her. I think she's a really great young actress. I thought she did a really great job in this. She's got a really great kind of look to her, a really kind of striking look. I think she played it really well. And obviously what's at the heart of this movie is the relationship between these three people. And in case any of you don't know, it's basically like a polyamorous relationship. So it's like a relationship that they have between the three of them, where they're all in love with one another. And I had no clue about that. I thought it was just about this guy, and he knew these two women, and he had these two women in his life, and that helped him come up with the idea of Wonder Woman. That's basically what it is. But what I didn't know was that they were all in a relationship with one another, and it was really cool and really interesting and really fascinating seeing a film that really delved into and explored that, but also in a very tasteful and respectful way, because it could have been gratuitous, but it wasn't. It was very tasteful and very respectful, and it never went too far. There's not like loads of sex and nudity in this film. There is a little bit, but it doesn't dwell on that. It's not like really gratuitous. It's not all about that. It's about the relationship, and it's about these three people. I think it was done in a very effective way, and I think for me it really worked, and the performances were really great, and it was really interesting seeing this true story play out and seeing kind of the relationships that these characters had with one another. And it was really kind of like a story that I had no idea about. Like I said, I knew that he invented the lie detector and they had these two women in his life, but I really didn't know anything about the kind of the details surrounding kind of the relationship that they all had with one another, and how that ultimately led to them then later coming up with the idea of Wonder Woman. And what took me aback a bit about this film was that the actual coming up with the idea and creating Wonder Woman happens quite late in the film. The film isn't really about that. I mean, it kind of is, but that comes quite late in the film, where they decide, well, maybe we should, come up with an idea for a superhero here. But really, the majority of this film is about these three people and the relationships that they have with one another. And then the idea of coming out of Wonder Woman is kind of like an afterthought that happens much later in the movie. But for me, I like that. It did take me aback, because I thought the whole movie, like from the get-go, was going to be about, the origins of Wonder Woman. And it is, but it's the true story behind what would later become, coming up with the idea of Wonder Woman. And I really like that. I like that, it was about the origins of Wonder Woman, but it was also about these real people and their lives and their relationships, and how that ultimately led to them coming out with Wonder Woman down the line. I just like how this film was very kind of brave and bold and really daring and audacious, and that it went to places that other films might have shied away from, but it tackled these kind of important issues in a way that was respectful and was tastefully done. I felt it wasn't gratuitous, and I really liked how the film explored these issues and dealt with things like polyamorous relationships and the origins of Wonder Woman, in that it started out as more like a bondage, kind of like BDSM, borderline pornography at the beginning, and it really explored the mindset behind that, what Professor Marston had, and how that was very much influenced with the relationships that he had with these real life women in his life, which I had no clue about, how that really informed his ideas with Wonder Woman, and how that was kind of very much present in the stories in the comics, and obviously that was later phased out. But it was really interesting and really fascinating seeing the origins of all that and where that all actually came from, and how all that stuff in the early comics was based on stuff that actually happened in Professor Marston's real life, with these real experiences that he had with these women. And I thought that was really fascinating. And so overall, I've not got much to say about this film other than that I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a whole lot more than I thought I was going to. I thought it was a really great film. It tackled these issues in a very tasteful and respectful way, and it was really fascinating and enlightening. And also, what I have to say on a final note here, it was actually very kind of uplifting and inspirational in a way that I really wasn't expecting, because obviously I can't really relate to any of these characters or identify with what they're going through, but at the same time it was really kind of uplifting, I felt, and inspirational, seeing these characters and what they went through in their lives, and how the movie ends as well on a quite kind of a touching and heartfelt and emotional note. And it actually quite hit me, and as the movie ended, I thought, yeah, I think that was really well done. It really kind of was quite inspiring and uplifting for me. It was a powerful and important film, but it was also very kind of touching and heartfelt and emotional at the same time. So overall, I really enjoyed this film. I don't really have any big issues. I could nitpick it maybe, but off the top of my head, there wasn't anything that I really disliked about this film. So overall, I'm going to give Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman a very well deserved 5 stars. And there we have it, that's my review of Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. Have you seen the film yet? And if so, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you like this and you haven't already, be sure to click subscribe to see more. If you missed my last review, be sure to go ahead and click over here to catch up on my last review, or perhaps down here to catch up on one of my recent videos. But with that said, I've been David O'Sullivan. I'll see you next time.